This is the Oakwyn Podcast, featuring Morgan Browne and Michael Yu.
Welcome to the Oakwyn Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Yu.
And I'm Morgan Browne.
And Brayden in the
Brayden
echoing distance. He's the off mic today, which is a new thing. But today's our Valentine's episode, and we have a couple special guests.
Really special guests. We have actually, they're pretty much our spouses in our resale business.
Yeah, our work wives.
Our work wives. She's my work husband.
You guys swing the other way.
Trust me, no, Des, she's the guy. Okay. This is the strength of it all.
Okay.
And we are here with our. Why don't you introduce your guest?
Yeah, Brigid Wong.
Yes, hello.
And Desiree McNulty.
Hello.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming today, guys.
Guys.
So happy to be here.
Yeah.
This is a Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
What
was the best Valentine's Day that you've ever had?
Oh, that's a good
besides
question.
This one. On the mic, Bridge.
Let me think about this.
Best.
Okay, maybe Des.
Yeah,
you go
Des.
first.
She has one right away.
Yeah.
I can feel it.
Oh, God. I mean, it was a short-lived relationship, but...
Aren't they all?
Yes, Michael. Yes, they are.
Someone's got high standards.
I had a fantastic massage at the Scent Spa.
Oh, yes. I
Okay.
remember this one.
And then I met up with my girlfriends.
Yeah,
that
Oh,
was
wow.
the best.
That's nice.
We had a great dinner, and it was just very cute.
Like an
He was-
anti-Valentine's
It's like
Day.
a
He treated her
Oh,
to a
he treated-
okay.
He treated her to
Oh,
a Valentine's
wow.
Day. I remember this vividly because I was jealous. I was like, what? You're going out with your girlfriends after
Yeah.
a massage? Yeah. On a Valentine's Day?
It was great. Galentine.
It was a
Oh,
Galentine.
Galentine's. That's
Galentine's,
cool.
I like
How about you,
that.
Bridge?
I remember, I think it was last year, a couple years ago, I was working on a deal on Valentine's Day, and it was stressing me
Brigid
out
Wong.
like no tomorrow. I was calling everyone, calling lawyers. It was like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. I go home and I step into the door, and my now husband cooked me a nice dinner, flowers ready, wine like opened, and then I walked in, I looked at him, and I just started crying because I had such a
Bad
terrible day.
Oh, wow.
And he was not involved. And then so he just gave me a hug, and we just sat down and had dinner, and we talked through like what I was stressed out about. So it was like a really simple Valentine's dinner, but it was very
Wow.
memorable for me.
That's like
yeah.
a keeper Valentine's.
Yeah.
I can't even say anything because I'm
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
impressed in him.
Yeah.
That's why he's your husband.
I was
Yes.
just going to say.
That's right.
Where's your daddy?
Oh, my God.
How about
my
you,
God.
Morgan? What's your favorite Valentine's?
You know what?
memory?
I've had so many good Valentines, but I'm a lot like Bridge. I'm not like Bridge. I like my husband used to make me like a surf and turf.
cracking
You know
a
what
lobster.
But I've always had some really good Valentine's Day. We've always had, we're like losers. We always have like major, every one of those Hallmark card things, we
Yeah.
do it up.
Oh, yeah?
But yeah, I mean, that's been, Desi might remember.
I know. I'm actually sitting here right now remembering. I think same kind of thing. We had like a rockin' week, and you went home, and Sean had like 3 bouquets of flowers
Yes.
for you.
Wow.
See, Desi remembers for me.
Yeah.
This is so much our partner. I was like, oh.
See, I can't give someone flowers.
I know you can.
Like,
Why?
it's just
It's
such
so
a
sad.
like. It's such a like maybe a potted plant, but not a bouquet because.
But it's the feeling you're bringing to someone.
they're
Yes.
Fresh sunflowers is
beautiful.
like the most beautiful thing.
Maybe I shouldn't have
Romance.
mentioned
Most
this. Romance.
Romance.
Yeah, I'm
This year,
against
this year.
Valentine's
Yeah.
Day. So.
Okay, so I want to start
Yeah.
off by saying congratulations to the top producers across from us.
Oh, thank you.
Because these two we just had our sales kickoff event virtually, which went super well.
Yeah.
And I was so proud of you guys. When first of all, I was with Des, so I was like looking at her, but I couldn't look at her. I was just going to cry. And I saw Bridges thing come up, and I was like, oh my gosh. How does it feel to be the TPs of Oakwyn?
TPs, isn't that toilet paper?
If you think
Also
that, but I'm
right.
the TP. Yeah, also wrong. I call it the TPs.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they're like the toppers. Like, first of all, just to give everyone who's listening and watching, how did you guys get there? Give me like 3 good tips each, or 1 good tip each of how you got there last year.
Okay, I'll start.
Mhm.
Well, hard work, showing up every single day and making sales happen. Like it was a crazy market. There was little inventory, so much competition, but I think we were so lucky with Oakwyn to have so many agents that supported one another and really kind of were like our agents were giving us the heads up before the listings were coming out.
Yeah.
So I think we were really ahead of the market.
So
Our
true.
team we just flew. We
my
had a
gosh.
really, really great assistant, Stella, that just kept us organized. And I think we just went for it. Really, we didn't look back. When it's busy, you have to really just live in it and
You
ride the
ride the
wave.
wave.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
I'm going to tell a quick story and then we'll go to Bridge. But basically, last year, because it was so difficult, you know, what creates like a different, maybe a top producer to someone that's not, which what Desi did was we had this is a perfect example of what Desi did. We had one client that lost out on a townhouse like right next door and she was pissed. She was like,
angry.
what? Out of $5,000. It was like $5,000.
No, it was
like
$600.
Okay, $600.
Stung
She
bad.
was pissed. So she, like that day, she went she door knocked that whole townhouse complex. She went and looked up the past history of some of the ones that expired. She got the one that was expired. We got it for less then, and she closed it within like a day.
Wow.
Wow, that's awesome.
And it was pretty epic.
You know, and it was one of
You
those
had to
moments.
think outside of the
You were
box.
thinking outside
the
Like,
box.
that market was tough.
And since then, he's referred us like 2 other clients.
Wow.
So
Great.
that's all to Des. So
Awesome.
bravo, girl.
Thank you.
Okay, Bridge, what makes you a top producer?
Makes you toilet paper.
I think in addition to hard work, for me, I set this goal last year, and I didn't think I was going to hit it, really. I wrote it down and even laughed at myself a little bit. And I told Michael, I'm like, this seems very unrealistic for
Yeah.
me. But you know what? I'm just going to aim high.
Yeah.
Put my head down and just work hard. And that's exactly what I did. And I think, like you said, too, with the support of the team, I took a couple weeks off to get married last year.
yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So I
Huge
took
year
some
for
time.
you.
Yeah. So I did take some time off, but yet I was able to achieve this, I think, just with the help of the team as well, right? So I think the people that you surround yourself with is super
That
important.
support system
Yeah.
is everything in this industry for sure.
For sure.
She's always
yeah.
saying that, like, because I'm around. If I wasn't around, she'd be like, it's all me.
Not to mention, like we're
It's
sitting
all Brigid.
we're sitting across from 2 people that really, Mike and I took some time off last year too.
Yeah.
We both had babies, and so we were really preoccupied with our new additions. So doing that in addition, I think. Do you think that added not pressure, but like, I don't know what to say, helps you guys get there? Like, do you think?
I think it, for sure, like lit a bit of a fire under my butt for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like you had to
I gotta
step
make
up.
you proud, Morgan.
Yeah, exactly. Had to step up and help, lead the team
Yes.
and help support the team as well. So yeah, I think for sure that gave us a little bit more motivation.
Yeah, I think that was probably the first year that I felt like in more of a leadership role. Our team was growing, and it was a really cool experience actually.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think it would be helpful for us to get a bit of context, a bit of
Yes.
your origin stories of how you guys got started in real estate.
Sure.
So maybe we'll start with Des.
Okay, so I started in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
And I really didn't know what I was doing. I was trying to figure out where am I going to hang my license. I was 21. A lot of people were saying you're going to get taken advantage of. You're too young. Like it's going to be a long road ahead. So I had lunch, I think, with Brandon Price, and he had been working with Rennie. And he said, you know what? It's a really good kind of foot in the door, great experience. You can work on project sales and just kind of get to know the market. So I did that for about 3 years in project sales. And I just kind of wasn't feeling, I don't know, I wasn't really getting to work with clients. It was more of a contract writer. You were in a sales center. I was kind of bored. And then I heard that this cool new brokerage, Oakwyn Realty, was going to be opening up on Oak Street. And I think a couple months later, I ran into Charn at a populist event, and he said, you need to meet with Morgan and Michael Yo. I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. Set up a meeting with you guys the next week. And I think that was really cool because I got to sit down with both of you.
Oh yeah, that's so interesting,
Right?
That's so different.
I know.
Because normally you get one of us.
Yeah. Everyone wants to meet with Morgan.
No,
and
it's not
and
true.
Morgan's
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
slop you off to
I
Michael.
didn't, I honestly didn't know, I didn't know anything about you guys. So when I sat down, kind of went into it like, oh, I'll interview them. But you guys completely interviewed me. And I felt like there was going to be a home for me
Mm-hmm.
because I wasn't really feeling that where I was.
Did you meet Michael first? You met Michael
No,
first.
I
You
sat
met
down
me.
with both of you at
Yeah.
the same time.
At the same time?
Yeah.
Why is my memory
know.
so bad?
It was crazy. And I remember leaving that meeting.
Like, really?
I think
Yeah.
Michael left. And
Oh, you
then
left.
Morgan and I had like an hour together after, and you're like, okay, I gotta go.
Oh,
and-
yeah. Okay, now I remember. You decided to leave me.
Michael's like, I gotta go. I'm busy.
I'm bored. Let's
Welcome to
go.
my life.
But yeah, I remember leaving that meeting and I was talking to my mom. I'm like, I am so inspired by the both of you. I'm like, and I want to be where Morgan's at. Like that's it.
Cool.
I want to work my butt off. I want to get there. And yeah, I think it was about 4 or 5 months after joining Oakwyn that we kind of joined forces, and the rest is really history.
Wow.
That's awesome. And you guys been working together ever since.
Yes, and the
About
reason
5
how I
Des,
met
you've been
let
suffering
me just
ever
tell
since.
you, when I met Desi, I was like, okay. So first of all, I had a assistant at that time, and I would like stare at Desi when she walked in. I was like, she'd go and sit in the bullpen. So we had this
Yeah.
like bullpen open area at HQ, and I would watch her come in every single day. Like either she was before me or right after me, And I said like, oh, she like had the same work ethic as I do. Like we're both here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I watched her every single day. And so it was my assistant at the time. If you're listening, you know who you are. It was like, I'm an only child. I don't want to work with anyone else. And I was like, what? So I had to wait till she left me. and then I sat down with Desi. And then it was
It was one of these many assistants.
I know who it is.
Morgan had this revolving door of
I did.
assistants. Like,
You know why?
it was like Murphy Brown.
Because Arlene
I don't
told
know
me
if you
you'd
guys
know
the
after
Murphy Brown.
3 months if that person was
Yeah.
meant to. She always was like, cut it. No, you too. You were like, just cut it. You'll know after 3 months. Like, just don't try and push it. And so, yeah. And so Desi and I joined forces. So that was really fun.
Yeah.
And it's been take off. Hey, Bridge, tell me how you. I remember your story too.
I stumbled into the industry really. I didn't grow up wanting to be a realtor. That was never on my radar or anything like that. I actually did sciences in UBC. I was going to do nursing, the typical like Chinese daughter kind of route. Graduated and then I couldn't find a job in the field that I was interested in. So like every good Chinese daughter, I went into banking. So I worked at the bank as a teller.
Right.
And I met a mortgage broker from that bank that knew Michael was looking for an assistant. So so I started as an unlicensed assistant with Michael.
This was 2013.
With Arlene.
With Arlene, yeah. So,
I remember
yes.
this.
Yeah, so Arlene and Michael, I was their assistant for about 6 months, and then I got my license. This was back in 2013.
Right.
Yeah, and then kind of stuck with the team, and here we are.
Oh
Yeah,
my
8 years
gosh.
later.
Yeah,
9
so
years later.
She's
yeah.
living.
Yeah, it's like, it's been 9 years.
Yeah.
eh?
That's insane.
Yeah.
You have aged.
I have, because of
Actually,
who
I was
work
going to
with.
say opposite. She's
You're
so
really
she's
quite
so used to
battered and
Michael's
bruised.
Michael's bad humor. So I have a question for you guys. What really, like, why did you guys decide to go? Like, of course, you stumbled in. What made you guys go team instead of being like a solo agent? And you could have changed all the way through this last 9 years, 6 years. What was it for you? Bridge, what about you?
I think for me, a big part of it's just my growing up as well. I have a twin sister. I have a lot of
I
cousins.
didn't know that you're a twin.
Yeah, I'm a twin.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I am used to having people around me, and I like that teamwork. So even working in, with Mike and the team, it's nice to have people in the trenches with you every day, right? Real estate can get really lonely. You're driving all the time, right? You're like doing paperwork in the bullpen by yourself. So it's nice to have that support system. So I think that's what really made me stay with the team all these years. And the mentorship too is great.
What about you, Des?
I agree. I think I always wanted to be on a team or with a partner, never wanted to do it by myself because I knew the hours that go into real estate. Everybody thinks it's so glamorous, but it really is a lot of hard work. And when you get to share the highs, it's pretty exciting. And there's a lot of lows that come with it too. So it's always kind of collaborating together. And I think you're right. The mentorship, like the experience that I've had with you in the last 5 years has been pretty crazy. 3 years at Rennie, I'm like, I didn't really learn anything. In a month with you, I'm like, Oh, wow.
Let's go. Let's
So,
go.
so
We're
Des,
going.
what was
We're going.
one of the most important things you've learned being part of the team or with Morgan?
I think just never give up. Like there's been so many times where a deal has come together in like the last like minute, really.
Mhm.
And it's from us consistently just being persistent and communication. I think being directive and just being able to really guide your clients. Like that's what we're here for, right? So Morgan's
Okay.
Morgan's very, very good at
Guiding guys.
And bossing people around and didn't notice.
Confirm. What about you, Bridge? What has been the biggest thing that you've learned on being on a team?
I think it's being transparent with each other, knowing each other's weaknesses and strengths and being there for each other. I think also never give up is a really good one that I learned. Michael is king of begging. He never lets a deal die. He will just keep asking, keep following, keep begging. Right? There's so many times.
Maybe I should start begging him more often.
But we're in multiple offer situations. He's like, just bug the agent, just call him, just ask him. And I think, just the mentorship there is great. And so that's one thing I learned is never to give up on those deals. It's never the end. It's so
on
true.
my tombstone, I'd like that to be like king of begging.
I'm for surely putting this on his shirt. Oh my god, it's so funny.
How did you get your wife? I begged.
Yeah, it's a consistent
How did you get your
theme in
business?
his life.
Begged.
Oh my god. I mean, it is a very well. I think we're so excited. We're so lucky to have you guys, and it's been I think it's the same sort of mentorship. For us, we've learned so much for you guys and how to be leaders. I think that's the key thing as well. But I would say,
Yeah, how have things changed?
Yeah, how have things
since since the
changed?
start, Des, of you working with Morgan, how's it changed?
Yeah, well, I think you were a solo agent for such a long time and just really trusting our team. And I don't know, you just really let me into your business, which was so special because I think that the clients that we share now, they are like our family.
they don't call me anymore. They call her.
They do. They call me. They're like, we're going to get a hold of Desi. Where's Morgan? But yeah, no, I think that we've just really grown together, which has been very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
That's awesome. How about you, Bridge?
I think Mike has always worked with his family to begin with in
Yeah.
the resale business. So I think I was one of the first kind of assistant that he had that wasn't family. So I think he learned to, work with other people who don't
That's like politically correct.
and he's learned to be a really good leader and to listen to what our needs and what our strengths and weaknesses are as well. And I feel like he's learned work-life balance, and I think that's really great for him.
Yes.
When I first met him, this guy never took a day off. Like Saturday, Sunday was always working. He never took a day off. So now he, I think, realizes the importance of work-life balance, and I like that. I like that for you.
Oh, thanks, Bridge.
I remember that too, even when we had first started. You were a bit of a horse.
Yeah, Mike would just be like there. He's
Yeah,
just like there.
I think I don't know what it
How
was.
have you changed? How have you changed bringing on Bridge? This is a good question.
Well, Bridge taught me a very hard lesson.
Ooh, here we go.
And it was very traumatic for me. So, when I keep a pretty tight circle, I keep a very small group of friends. I stick to my people, and I really enjoyed working with Bridge. And, we have such a great working relationship together. And we were working together. We had a team of 4. And then, everyone mutinied me. Because
They
I think,
left him.
Yeah, they left
We all
me
left
all
him,
at all within a 3 to 4 month period. And then it was because I was being too intense and too demanding and too
People were getting sick.
yeah, people were getting sick. Oh my god. Because I like Bridge was saying, I was
Oh my
always
gosh. Working.
working. I was working a lot. So I kind of had this standard for myself. So I expected everyone to have that same kind of standard, which, it wasn't fair at all fair. So, so basically it led to a lot of burnout, right? And so Bridge burnt out. And what happened?
I left him.
You left me.
I left him. I left him for 6 months.
Yeah.
And then once a month, this guy would send me a message. Hey, how's it going? Begging. Just check. Yeah, see, begging is a consistent theme in his life. Yeah. And then when I had started to consider coming back to real estate, I felt it was courtesy to tell Mike, and we met up, sat down, and came right back to the team.
Yeah.
You missed him.
I did. I missed the working environment and like
connection.
The connection, for sure.
Yeah, and so every month I would text him like, "Hey, Bridge, what's new with life?"
Tippy-toeing around it.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, "No, I'm good." I'm like, "Cool." Anyways.
You know what? He was quite lost without you, I'll tell you.
Yeah?
Just like Bridge, I am like that too with Mike. I was the other one that wasn't family and friends that kind of came into his world. And you have to have like thick skin, a little bit with Mike. You have to also know that he's looking out for you as well, and you have to let him in and all these like things that come with it. But I think, it's having faith in him. And I think you have always had faith in him. Like just watching it, you're like, okay, he'll like, but you've been more, I don't know how to say this. Like I think you've been more transparent with him as years have gone by. You've been willing to talk to him about what you need and what you want.
Yeah.
And
you
seeing
used to just
that,
hold it in, right?
You just hold it in.
Yeah.
And I saw that from like afar, right?
Yeah.
And so when you came back, I think
Weren't
you
you
changed.
known as like the crying?
The crying girl in the back of the office. Yeah. That was me.
Yeah, that was a good rep.
Oh, that was a good rep for you.
Oh,
I guess. The guy who made me cry.
And you worked so hard. I mean, that was a big thing. I think that you and Mike, you've changed a lot seeing like, as a leader with knowing that she has boundaries. Like she's got boundaries. I'm going to be a little bit more cautious about it for Bridge.
Right.
And to make a harmonious kind of system between you guys.
What's that?
I know. But yeah. And that's the truth. Like with your wedding.
Right.
Your wedding was one. Like even all these things, he was really cautious. Like, oh, Bridge is getting married at this time. This.
Right.
So it's, I've watched that in Mike for sure.
Yeah.
Which
well,
is so good.
it's been a joy, and our business and the team has grown, which has been really cool. Like when 9 years ago when it first started, it was just Bridge and I essentially. My sister Arlene, who's been on the podcast a bunch of times, we've been working in resale together for a long time, and she kind of wanted to get out of it. So that's why I needed some help, but it's grown now. So now we have like a pretty good team. Now we have.
So we have Kate and Kelsey who will work on the project side. So selling pre-sale homes with developers. And then on the resale side, Mike, myself, and Jill.
Yeah, Jill.
Yeah. Jill's back.
I love Jill.
So
Yeah.
that's like power right
Yeah,
there.
Jill's
Yes.
been with us for 5-6 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
6 years, I'd say.
Yeah. Jeez, time
So what
just
do you
goes
think
by.
it is that what do you think it is that makes you guys so special? Like your team Bridge. Like what is the big thing that sets you guys apart?
Yeah, I think, we're the hardest working people that I know. Like we don't like taking breaks, which could be a good and bad thing, right? But we keep each other accountable, and I tell Jill all the time, like, I think you need to take this weekend off because I feel like you haven't taken a weekend off in a while. So I would message her and tell her that. So we genuinely care about each other, and we actually have fun with each other. We, text outside of work. Like we would actually say, hey, like, how's your, family, whatever, right? So we actually care about each other.
Those texts.
Yeah, when I say we, I mean like Jill and I. We go out for drinks.
Yes.
We are drinking all the time, as also without Michael. Just because he's, he has a baby now. So, so we actually, like each other and we care about each other. So I think that's what makes us so special.
When you have common suffering, like it does.
That also helps.
It does band you together.
Yes. Common enemy.
Yeah, when you have a common
space.
Yeah.
Des, what about you? What is the big thing that makes us all so special in our team? Our team has grown. Okay, so first of all, Desi and I worked together and we've had people come in and come out just like you guys. Maybe talk about that a little bit and where we're at.
Yeah. Well, we were working side by side for about 3, almost 4 years.
Yeah. Assistant in, out, in,
We had a
out.
couple assistants in between. Okay. So I think we were trying to find our groove. And we finally, I think, actually when you had Quinn, that was like a really big moment for us to just look at the business. How were we going to grow it? And I think we always had a plan to bring on board a couple more agents to just kind of, share the business with, right?
Yes.
So Donovan, he is a rock star. He joined us, I think, almost a year ago now, just about.
Yes.
And he's a fantastic buyer's agent. And he's just really like tapping into his skill right now. And it's really cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just had Wayne Bernard come over from Century 21. He's been in the business for about 12 years. He's got so much life
Energy.
inside of him. It's
Today he texted me
crazy.
being like, I've never been so happy in my life. I love it. I'm like,
He's
I
so
love you.
positive, and
Yeah.
he's so happy to be a part of the team. And it just kind of, it reminds me of why we are
started.
special and like why we started together. It was to grow it. And I'm really excited for this year. I think that we're all going to have rock star years.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What makes us so different from your
different. Okay.
side?
We have a lot of fun.
Yeah, we do have a lot.
We have a lot of fun. We talk a lot. I think we know way too many personal things about one
everything
another.
about
Like
her.
we know everything. And it's like kind of creepy. We're too in sync. We know what each other's thinking. We'll dress the same.
Yeah.
Come into the office wearing the same outfit. Like it's quite funny. So
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like if you spend a lot of time with someone, you start gaining some of their mannerisms, right?
oh yeah.
So
Right.
what
For
mannerisms
sure.
did you gain from Des, and what mannerisms
Oh
did
my
Des
God, I
gain
can tell
from
you
you?
like a list. First of all, I definitely, there's so many little things, like little words that you'll say.
Right?
Like, I think Stella and Desi spent a lot of time in the last 6 months.
Oh my God.
Those two are like, I'm like, you guys are. And now Stella has been doing this thing where she's like, tomatoes, tomatoes, tomatoes. And they're like laughing. And I'm like, what are you guys talking about?
No. Stella just makes fun of me because I'm getting old and I don't know.
She's 21, people.
I don't know what she's talking about.
makes us feel
She's all
old.
over
Yeah.
TikTok. Like, I'm just
what
trying
are
to
we-
keep up.
I mean, we both are, I would say out of the two, so first of all, the group has grown and changed. And I think we've dominated, we have a set goal that we want to dominate the downtown market. And we have both worked in that space for me 14 years,
Yeah.
you 6, 7 years, 8 years, 8 years.
No, I'm moving into my 10th year.
10,
But like technically
years.
8. Yeah.
That's right, 8
Yeah.
years. Since addition, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you pre-sale it. But I would say we both have I think the positive vibe from like the two that we've just added have added even more spice and more
Yeah.
energy to our space.
Yeah.
So
I think our office is like, we're known to, we'll pump you up.
yeah, we're gonna
Come
pump you up.
in, we're positive every day. We have our little
That's
moments.
different from ours because
but-
like if you want to get like let down, you come down. Right? You wanna?
That's not true.
No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
You're like,
Our windowless office.
Yeah,
The smallest
With a
with crowns of
fluorescent,
people.
like white light. Gives you a headache.
Yeah.
So I
That's
guess
the one.
I think a good question is to ask for everyone too. I think a lot of people are going to be like, what are your guys' roles? Like, what are the roles and what do you guys play? How do you play on your team? Bridge, what about you?
So I work alongside Michael. We get listings together. I work with a lot of buyers as well. So Mike, has many hats. So I kind of oversee the resale side of the business when, he's busy or he's away. I maintain relationships with our clients. And then I just kind of oversee everyone, making sure that they're okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Super
think,
similar.
yeah, very similar.
Yeah.
I think especially this last year, just making sure everybody's on track and we're having our Monday morning meetings and just really a lot of follow up and keeping everybody in sync because you are a very busy woman, Morgan Browne.
Crazy.
And yeah, just really having that presence in our office and making sure that our clients know that we're there 24/7.
I feel like they're like downplaying their roles. Like I feel like you guys do so much.
Well, what do you think that we do?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
What do you think she does?
Oh, God.
Okay. I was gonna try to say something really like dumb, but I'm not gonna say it. So yeah, Bridge is basically the foundation of the resale business for us, and the resale business changed my life. being a realtor has, changed my life, my family's life. It's really been the springboard to so many different things. And I trust Bridge to handle kind of the business that we created, from all the way from 2006 till now. So Bridge is really the captain of the ship when it comes to resale. I co-list every property with her, so that we work hand in hand with every client. And it's weird because I worked alongside my sister for so many years, and like I really think of Bridge as family. Like I really treat her like my sister,
Oh, thank you.
like the one that I don't really. Actually, no. I treat her like we run the business like a family business, and I treat her like my sister. We're really honest with each other, maybe a bit too honest sometimes, but it just and she's really helped to like maintain great relationships with our clients. The clients love Bridge, like they love her.
And he's shocked every time.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah. I'm always shocked. I'm like, huh? Like in the review, like so we have all these reviews on Google. Everyone's like, Bridge is awesome, Bridge is great, Bridge is fantastic. And then like it's like, oh yeah, that Michael guy showed up once. And yeah, so like but it's been like it's just from my perspective, it's just been awesome to see her grow because she kind of was like a timid girl, like young, kind of like just graduated from school person, and now she's a woman.
That was low.
Wow.
That was a low.
Not sure I was ready for that.
That was creepy.
But I've seen like a huge progression of change, just like seeing her even like not only professionally but also personally. Like she's matured a lot. She was so immature before. Like she's erratic.
Yes.
Yeah, and
he would come in, I'd be crying in the office over some boy, and he'd like back away.
I would like tiptoe away, like slide the door. It was like a clear glass door. Okay.
Walk the other way.
So it's been like it's been fantastic to see it. Now we're in a really good place, in our business right now. We have a great team, and like I couldn't do it without them. Like I kind of joke that like this thing would just crumble down without them. So it's great.
I feel like it's so funny you say that because I think Des and I, like we have a little bit of a different, you guys have a different type of business together. So Des and I are a little bit more like, we're still basically partner on everything. Like we still go out with clients together. We like, I know this because Bridge is like helm of the ship.
Yeah.
Where Des and I are still creating and building and having all these different ideas. I really consider her a partner on everything that I bring out. And I mean, just so funny. Des is like, I've always believed that you on my team, it's all about her building her business within the business. Yes. And I think you have just built an incredible business, and just our referrals that have come in, they really get passed all over to Des. Des is just running everybody. I feel like the same way as Mike, where I'm like, they can call to Desi and not me. What? But then at the same time, it's just such a reward to see that because you've just, as a person, like, oh my God, when I first met Desi, seriously, guys. No, when I first met Desi, she was like, same thing, young, super passionate, always the same type of woman, which is strong, very strong. I think that's what drove me to be side by side with her. But I think you have like, you've just like you got like in the last 3 to 5 years, just way more focused and driven and confident. I think that's the word. The confidence is the one that you've had.
I mean, your confidence has definitely rubbed off on me. That's for sure.
I'm like, you need to control this.
Don't you find it obnoxious?
No, I mean, there'll be those moments like in the morning where it's like, sometimes you just want like a quiet morning.
Oh, yeah, that's Desi.
Morgan will roll in and I'm like, okay, we're turning on. It's go time.
She needs like a minute.
I just need a minute.
She needs a minute.
Even when I get home from the day, I'm like, silence, peace. And then I'm fine.
This morning we had a meeting. She's like, I just did a calms meditation. And I was like, this is going to be the best ever. I am
She's like, the peace is all broken
kick a chair over.
New chapter, new beginning.
Calm is
New
over.
year. This is it. But I think you have, like, with regards to guiding the client, that's the biggest thing I've saw with Des. She's taken control of and she has no fear. She was door knocking yesterday at a land assembly and just got she's basically going to be doing a massive Zoom call with like all these, land assemblies. She's gotten guts. And I think that takes a really, that's why I'm proud of you. I think you've done such we have a different relationship. She is basically, I would say, less of a sister and more of a best friend. If anything, she's created she's more than I would say different. I sometimes feel like you're the one I chose. So like, it's even more special. I don't like my sister.
Well, I have 3 older brothers. So I always wanted a sister. And Morgan's kind of like that built-in sister, therapist, bestie.
She's a therapist.
She's there for me.
Aww,
sweet.
So cute.
Yeah. So like, let's say somebody was thinking about joining a team or being a part of a team.
Yeah.
Like, what advice would you give them? What tips would you give them, in starting out on a team?
You know what's funny? When Morgan approached me to join her team, I had talked to Nomi Malik, and he was so funny. He's like, you have an opportunity to work with like the biggest boss in this industry. Drop your ego and go in just eyes wide open and just be open to learning and growing with somebody. So I think if you are considering joining a team, like, it's not all about you. It's really joining forces. And I think there's strength in numbers. And there's just so much experience that can come with it.
Mm-hmm. It's a great tip.
Yeah, it's great.
I would say don't be a counter. Like when you first join a team, you're new, right? You're learning. Do everything, and don't think that you're overworked and overworking, whatever it is. Like, be humble and just learn, and don't count everything that you do, because that's not what a team is about.
Yeah. That is like so good. You team, no counting. I'm like, did Arlene just tweet? Arlene?
They brainwashed me.
They brainwashed you now.
Once you start, because that's like that I feel like that becomes infectious in a team. When people are like, I did this, you did this, like I did this, like what did you do? Like, and then it becomes transactional, where when you work in a group, you want it to be like to see the group success. Like, you want to see everybody, and it's funny like how it's shaken out at the end. It's worked out really well for the both of you. And so it's just kind of like just working together really cohesively well, and trying to like kind of win the championship. Like, I think of it kind of like in sports. Like, you want to win the championship together, and some people have to fill the roles, and then you just win the championship, and then everyone's happy, right? Yeah. That's like, it's been quite a cool ride. So,
so I think when people are thinking about joining a team, they're always worried about like commissions, and they're worried about, you know what I mean? And to get valued. I think that's another thing in a team. Yes, the counting, but also that value side of it. Any like keynotes to the people that if they're looking for a team, how to find a team, and maybe some like good Cole's note of finding the right team, I think.
That's a good question. How
do you know? How did you know? Guys?
How do you know?
Yes.
I think it takes a bit of a risk. You definitely have to see the chemistry. I think chemistry is huge. If you're not jiving, or I don't know, if your life is kind of chaotic and you're working with somebody who is, very regiment in their routine, it's not going to work. You have to be, I think, definitely on the same page. And interviewing a couple different people that you admire, and maybe just, setting up mentor coffee dates. Like, take your time with it.
That's good. That's really good
take
advice.
your time with it. But yeah, I think the chemistry is very important.
Bridge, what about you?
I only met with Michael, and I I didn't interview. Maybe I should have.
Not too late.
Yeah, too late now. But I think to a certain extent, it has to make you uncomfortable, because that's how you grow. I think, if you're growing and you're becoming a better person, I think that's what, made me stick around, was because I could see my life going in a different direction, right? Like, it was going in a much better direction than I would have expected. And, Mike taught me a lot of, not just real estate, but like life in general, like budgeting and like, your next steps in life, right? So I think a good mentor not only will teach you professional lessons, but also life lessons. So that
what
was
lessons?
That's so true.
Okay, let's go. This is a good segue. What is the best piece of advice Michael has given you?
Ooh.
You're next, Desi, so get ready.
I know.
He's given me a lot of good advice, a lot of good life advice. I remember first couple of meetings, we sat down and we did a budget together for my life. Like he asked me, what's your cell phone bill? What's your, he helped me with my like personal budget. So he helped me a lot with like a lot of my personal life, decision making and things like that. In real estate, I think he taught me not to stress, like not to take things so personally, because the amount of volume that we do, we work all the time, right? And if we take every little thing to heart, like you will burn out, which is what I did. But I think, the lesson there was don't take it personally. Have fun, work hard, have fun, and trust your team.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
That's so good.
Hey, Des.
Personal and professional.
Personal. Oh my gosh. I think that you have just really helped me put my goals on paper, and I've never really looked back. So journaling and just taking a second for your mental health, like I think that we both really try and support each other to make sure that we aren't burning out, because you're totally right. In this industry, it can happen quick and it's hard to bounce back. So
I literally sent her away.
she sent me away to Whistler, and she's like, don't come back until you feel good.
Because you're freaking me out. You're looking too rough right now.
I'm frazzled.
You can hear it in her voice.
Yeah. But yeah, I think just being positive and keeping really good people around you. I think when we talk about growing personally in the last couple of years, I've definitely reevaluated who is adding value to my life. And I think, like you said, showing up, and are you growing into a better person, or are you kind of stuck? Like what are those things that are going to make you kind of elevate to the next level?
Okay, Des. Enough about this nice stuff.
I'm
What do you
sorry.
hate? What do you hate about Morgan?
What?
What do you?
Well, I
What
just wanted
annoys
to
you?
tell you.
What annoys you?
He's just in a weird state with me right now. So
No,
he
I'm not.
is going to tell you
I'm
what
not.
he hates. And
I'm not. I got a list.
Oh my God,
It's
no.
not just one.
See, Morgan and I, we really like each other.
It's true.
Well, you
true.
gotta have one thing that annoys you.
Annoys me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Come on.
Okay, fine.
Okay, this is just funny. Whenever I'm like about to leave my house and I have to get into an elevator because I'm in a condo,
Yeah.
Morgan will call at that moment. And I'll be like, you couldn't wait 2 minutes to call me? And it's just like one of those funny things.
That's a really good one, actually.
Yeah.
I do the
I got a
same
list
thing.
for everybody.
No, I do the same thing to my mom. She'll be like at a cashier and I'll call her and she's like, God, you couldn't have waited 2 minutes. Anyways.
Yeah.
I love you. Okay, Bridge, what do you hate about Mike?
He's gone.
Oh, I got lots.
She got a bunch of used tissues.
What do I hate about Mike?
Oh
I
my
would say
gosh.
hate, but he will read your WhatsApp and then not reply.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, and you're like, you read it. Like, there's 2 check marks. It's blue. Why didn't you just reply?
Hear that, Mike? Hear
Yeah,
that?
sometimes that could be annoying. But
Right.
then I would just pick up the phone and call him.
Yeah,
Because I
then-
know
then
You just gotta call.
Yeah.
You just gotta get on the
call.
phone.
Yeah.
We FaceTime a lot.
We do.
We
Okay.
FaceTime. We're always seeing each
We'll be
other
driving
on FaceTime.
and-
We'll be FaceTiming on driving.
That's pretty innocuous. That's not bad. I was expecting a lot worse. I was like, ooh, I hate this, guys.
I have like some popcorn questions that people have
Yeah.
asked. They want to know from you. Okay,
Ooh.
guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we talked about moment you knew they were the one. We kind of talked about that. What is your favorite place to eat together?
Ooh, well,
Recent.
recent.
Recent. This is
Lynn
it.
Cafe by the Vancouver House. We had a great time.
Great time. Met some
Great
people.
spot. Met some people.
They bought us drinks. It was terrible. We were like midday
Wow.
lunch.
Yeah. It was
No one's
happens.
buying me and Bridge drinks.
we're going to the wrong restaurants. That's why.
Where do you guys like to eat, have coffee? What's your place?
Man, ours is so not cool compared to you guys. Ours would be Copa, I would say.
Yeah.
Copa.
It's like a Hong Kong
Solid.
cafe.
Yeah,
Where
Hong
is
Kong
that?
cafe.
On Canby.
Yeah, it's burnt down
Yeah,
now.
burnt
but
down
now.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
we used to
burnt
go
down.
there all the
Yeah,
time.
that
No.
used to be our go-to. Yeah.
Okay, here. What is the best gift you've received from one another or from you? What's the best gift you got from Mike? Best gift.
Mike doesn't get gifts. He gives me a lot of books, which
Okay.
is good.
That's
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
What
Yeah.
was your favorite book that he gave you?
They feel a little pointed sometimes. You know, he'd give me a book that's like, what was it? The Art of Negotiation or something like that. And you're like, okay, thank you.
I get the same thing. He gave me
Yeah.
a TED Talk. He was like, you're going to be on TED Talk one day. Here is your TED Talk. I'm like, okay, this is good. What about you,
How about you, Des?
Des?
Oh my
Best
God.
Gift.
Okay, my 30th birthday,
Oh, no.
in the midst of COVID pandemic, I was feeling a little low. And Morgan was calling me while I was walking through Nordstrom trying to find an outfit for my birthday dinner that I was going to cancel. I was not in a good place. I was crying. And she's like, I have something for you. Come outside. I'm on Georgia. I go outside. She throws a bag at me. And she's like, okay, open that later.
Bye.
I decide to open up like the most heartfelt card. And I just started sobbing. And I'm walking through Nordstrom and my girlfriend runs into me and she's like, oh my God, like, are you okay? And honestly, I'll keep that forever. It was the sweetest,
That's awesome.
sweetest card
I thought it was
and
gonna
a
be the-
very special bracelet.
Was it Hermes? It was
Ooh.
Hermes.
It was a very nice
I thought it
one.
was the stripper.
You're not supposed to
Oh
talk
my
about
God, I
it.
thought my last gift would be the top one. I thought my last gift would be the
there,
top one.
there were two, but like that was just
That
one
was
of those
heartfelt.
things. I was like, oh, I'm turning 30.
You were so on it that day. I was like, you need.
I think I cried probably 10 times that day.
Oh,
I don't
really?
know.
Because
what's going on.
COVID, you know, like
Yeah.
30.
Like all my like plans had gotten canceled. I couldn't see my mom and dad, and like
Yeah.
it was just one of those things where it just meant a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, this is
I felt
good.
the love.
Best
Yeah.
change you've noted about them since meeting. Do you have any secret traditions? Secret traditions. Do you guys have any secret things that you guys do? Like when you guys win or when you guys maybe, I know what you guys do. I didn't even know when you guys go for your planning session.
Oh,
That's
yes.
a tradition.
Yeah, we go every year. We go away. We went to Tanamara a couple times, and last year we went to Kingfisher.
Yep.
Yeah. We go away for a weekend or a couple days, and we drink a lot, actually, surprisingly. This guy brings
Yeah.
so much alcohol.
I know.
What is this?
Getting the party started.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
we
right.
drink a lot, but we also, we plan for the next year. So
Yeah.
we do
Yeah.
all of our planning on our getaway.
Tradition.
Mhm.
Well, we just had a really nice planning session up in Whistler with the whole squad. I would say like massages for
Yeah.
a while. It was Morgan and I would go to the Westin and we would have the best massage at what's that spa?
Yeah, Vita.
Vita Spa. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
weirdest thing
fancy.
about your relationship, Rich. These are good popcorn finishers.
The weirdest thing, I think, is how integrated I am into his family. I have all of his family like on Facebook. I have his mom on Facebook. Arlene, obviously, but the other siblings are also.
Yeah, you're really in.
Yeah, like
we were at the same wedding table.
Yeah,
That's
I
like-
was
we were at the
his
same
wedding.
level.
Yeah, I call his Uncle Frank Uncle Frank.
I know.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of weird how integrated I am into the family.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. What about you, Des? What's your weirdest thing?
I don't think that we're that weird.
I know that's weird.
What's weird?
We'll like talk about like her,
Oh God.
like, like any type of like X-rated things may go down in conversations. Because
Wow.
you know what? We are
We're an
really
open book,
open
okay?
book people. You know what I mean? It's like,
Great.
and so, and
I'm dying.
just die. But I think, and when when she's dating somebody, FYI guys, she's single. So if anyone's
for
out
the
there
plug.
listening, it's a plug. And so she's going on a date or something, I go heavy in like,
Oh my God.
I'm going to find out who this person is.
She researches
and I
like
research,
no
I
other.
watch the YouTube videos of the people. I watch.
Oh, wow. So you screen. So you're like
I'm a
a
screener.
Facebook stalker.
Yeah. And then I'll call her, I'll be like, he's good.
Or
He's good.
we should
Yeah.
rethink this one.
Oh, yeah?
Or I'm like, there's been times where I'm like, I heard from this person that this guy isn't a good guy.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm stopping. You're finished. That's the weird thing about our relationship.
Yeah, I guess the trust is
It's true.
it's deep.
Yeah, it's deep. It's deep. It's real deep. What do you have looking forward to this girl? Tell me about Michael. Like, what are you looking forward to seeing in Bridge in the next little bit?
Well, I'm trying to convince her to buy a house close to me.
He has been, yes.
So I'm excited just to see her, like, you know, it's more family stuff. So
I feel like this is a trend.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
So like, I was just, you know, I'm just excited to see her. You know, she just got married. So that was like, you know, it was such a beautiful ceremony. And like, I really like her spouse. He actually,
What?
him and I have some similar characteristics.
Oh my God. Only Mike to say that. Only Mike to
He's
do
better
this.
looking than me. He's better looking than me. But
I went to
he's-
elementary school with your
Yes,
husband.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, but he's like,
He's a gem.
yeah, he's not an emotional guy. He's very
No,
logical.
it's very logical, yeah.
He's like very frugal as well.
Yes, he is.
So like, there are some similarities, but he's better than me in every other
Oh, for
way.
sure.
But yeah, so like, you know, and just seeing her like just grow as, you know, and hopefully she wants kids, and I think and stuff like that, and just seeing her like grow, you know, her just personally. So that's what I'm looking forward to seeing, and I like, and just, you know, that's the most important thing for me.
Oh.
Yeah. How about you?
What am I looking for? I'm looking forward to her just taking over the world. I think that her capacity is like beyond people's capacities. I think she's grown into a person that's like really loved herself. And I think that's super cool to see. Like, as a female, to be like so confident in their skin is so telling. And, you know, one thing I can say about Desi, she is like wholeheartedly like one of the best people you'll know, but she's a good person. And I think when that just bleeds right through you. And I think, well, we talked about you just being around the right people. I'm just really honored to be around you. I love you for sure.
So sweet.
Yeah. But anyways, let's stop in a sob story.
I know, I'm gonna cry.
We are just, I think the team grows in both sides.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have been just helping us. And I think you can just by being here right now and telling everybody how you've kind of created this incredible business within the business and growing. Any last notes about what you guys looking forward to and what you're going to bring? What people can watch? Or are you going to be like, you're going to be the TPs, top producers?
Yeah.
I never know that.
No, I'm always gonna think about toilet paper when I hear TP. And Bridge like holding a wand of toilet paper. like maybe a trophy with a toilet paper on top. I won.
My top producers, you know, whenever I think of top producers for Oakwyn, I think of a crown. Like, you've done this like heavy
With a
duty
toilet
work.
roll.
Oh,
Like,
no.
right at the
It's very
jewel of the
fitting for
crown.
us. Like, for you team.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
Mine's like
exactly.
gems and diamonds. Yeah.
Right.
No, I'm excited to be the downtown team this year. Look out.
Watch out, guys.
We're coming.
We're coming. Coming strong.
I'm looking forward to reconnecting with our old clients. That's one of our big goals this year. And
Yeah.
you know, getting to know a lot of Mike's old clients would be really nice. And I think just personally as well, like, you know, hoping to get into maybe not Mike's neighborhood, but, you know, somewhere close by there. And just, growing my family and, looking forward to that.
Awesome. I think on that note, guys, thanks so much, Desi, Bridge. Thanks so much for being part of the Oakwyn
Thank you.
podcast. It was awesome having you. Guys, if you've enjoyed this podcast, please rate it 5 out of 5 on the podcast platform you're listening to it and write us a review. That'd be a lot of fun. And if you're interested in Oakwyn, go to our website at oakwyn.com/join. Type into the message box.
Evolve 2022. That's our theme of the year, guys.
That's the theme of the year, and we will meet and give you a free piece of mystery swag.
Thanks
Okay,
so much,
guys. Thanks,
guys.
guys.
Thanks,
Okay, till next
guys.
time. See you guys. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.